Hello guys, very welcome back. In this video we'll be learning about what are the challenges of corruption from societal perspective, right? Now if we see from societal perspective, first challenge is the Indian society has divisive societal norms. What does this mean? That Indian society is not so united. It has fault lines on the basis of caste, religion, and your economic well-being, right? So these splinter groups are created, and these splinter groups compete with each other for access to scarce resources. And what does this lead? This leads to favoritism, nepotism, and patronage. That is, if I'm not able to get that resources, one of my community members can get that resources, right? Now how to decrease these splinter groups, how to diminish the fault lines, increase unity, and increase genuine merit system in a society which has divided. Now how to increase unity and genuine merit system is the solution is value education. The problem is we have been receiving value education for years, but how to reinforce? In order to reinforce the value education, you need to establish common goals, and you need to have a very strong role models in every field. Now, establishing common goals reduces friction between the splinter groups, and it reduces mistrust. That is, the trust of increases, right? Secondly, as far as role models are concerned, in every field we need to have a very strong role model. India lacks good role models, right? Secondly, it's the second challenge of corruption as far as the societal perspective. Why is corruption means tough for in India to eradicate? From societal perspective, we see Indian society has herd mentality, and it's very strong. The reason for herd mentality can be seen in child's further educational subjects, right? Life partner, and in your voting pattern, right? And why does this herd mentality is existing? This is because of our socialization and education. Our socialization is based upon individuals' opinions is less important, societal's opinion is more important. As far as education is concerned, our education is based upon rote memorization. Learning is less focused upon, and its application is nowhere seen, right? Now, due to this, we have a strong herd mentality, right? And what can be done? Good child rearing practices should be encouraged, where its education must be based on contentment and self-fulfillment, not copying others, right? And the parents, the closed family members, they must give unconditional family support. In India, the family support is given conditionally, that in 2 years you need to crack this examination, else you are gonna marry. The second is social stigma. Take corrective actions and use your discretion. For any department you are in, for example, if the senior of your department takes bribe, stop cooperating with him, right? For example, if in Bollywood there are some people who are involved in dirty task. So many Bollywood actors, Amir Khan and Akshay Kumar, they stopped. They said in public that they will never work with this particular type of director because of his loose character against girls. So this social stigma, because once you take corrective action on your own, use your discretion, don't go with herd mentality, what society says, right? The others will soon follow, and hence social stigma will be generated against corruption. Okay. The third problem of society as far as corruption is concerned is passivity passivity and pessimism. What is passivity? People think that it's not their responsibility to take the corrective action, right? Why they do so? It's because if they complain about corruption, they are pessimistic that no change will occur. It's a very inconvenient process, and fear of established, powerfuls. They will be against them. They'll take their life, their, everything. Now the thing is, if you complain, it's possible that nothing will change. But if you don't complain, it's 100% possible that nothing will definitely change, right? Hence, what India can do is we can start asking questions about the service delivery, manner in which a service is delivered, not just be satisfied with what service is delivered to us, right? And hence, India needs a very strong citizen engagement and citizen partnership. We need to inform citizens about, the RTI citizen charter. We need to have very strong grievance redressal mechanism and grievance redressal officers. And thirdly, we need to have whistleblower protection, right? And fourthly, we need to provide incentive to the people, right? For example, in America, there is False Claim Act, where the penalty against corruption, whatever is penalty, say 100 crore, so 15 to 35% of 100 crore will be given to the complainer who has complained. And hence they are, in India it's not so. They are just given like whatever is mentioned in the law, 15,000, 20,000. But in America, if it would have been 100 crore of corruption, the person would have got like 35 crore. And hence we must also incentivize whatever penalty, part of penalty must go to the complaint. The fourth challenge of corruption is need and greed. Now, in a country which is deprived of natural resources, in a country where lots of competition and there is competition for access to the resources and services, the people, they tend to indulge in corruption so as to get ahead of others. The problem begins when the rich and the people who are doing good in life as far as their financial and the societal position is concerned, when even they tend to compare themselves with other, right, and get indulged in a relative deprivation, saying that their position is not good, right, and forgetting the absolute deprivation, right? So in that case, when societal norms is material gains which has come because of decreased independent thinking, the society is bound to get a greedy aspect of it. The greedy aspect is bound to increase. It's inevitable, right? So now, to overcome this relative deprivation, the rich, they succumb, they use corruption, they use bribes, etc. to fill the gap, to get ahead of others, right? Secondly, in this era of globalization where information is for everyone and everywhere, right, ubiquitous, aspiration has increased exponentially, but what has not increased exponentially is the potential to reach that aspiration, right? And hence, again, in order to fill the gap between the heightened aspiration and the same potential, people use corruption. If it's for the case of the people using the Behrupiya to get into the place of actual student to appear in NEET exam and get a seat for the actual student, even parents indulge in that, right? So their aspirations have increased to become a doctor, but not their potential. And hence, in order to solve this problem of greedy society because of relative deprivation and the balance between aspiration and potential. We need to have a better value education so that it can focus on independent thinking so as to get a better internal locus of control, right? And secondly, in order to again balance aspiration and potential, we need to inculcate the Indian values of personal improvement, of hard work and patience so as to enhance your potential, so as to reach your aspirations without indulging in corruption. And lastly, Indian culture is lenient in nature. Any argument, any mishappening, any mistake, if the person apologizes, the conversation is over, the argument is over, and there is no chance that there is very negligible probability that he will not redo the same mistake, right? So we have to create a society which has a zero tolerance attitude towards corruption, make corruption displeasure by attaching social stigma to corruption. And other example could be that we can make these dishonest individuals public, shame them publicly, right? So that was all the 5 areas of social perspective which are the challenges to corruption. First was the society is divided in splinter groups. The society has a herd mentality, right? The society is passive. The society is pessimistic about reporting corruption. There's lots of need and greed in society. And finally, the society has a lenient culture. That's all. Thank you.